Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a 24-hour reading challenge. So if you've watched previous videos of mine, you may have seen the 24-hour reading challenge that I did probably about a year to a year and a half ago. And let me tell you, that was hard. Staying up for 24 hours straight is very, very difficult, especially when you are doing something like reading. It also makes it very difficult to comprehend what you are reading. So I'm changing it slightly from how I did it the first time. Instead of doing straight 24 hours, I'm going to do 12 hours today, then go to sleep, and then when I wake up tomorrow, do another 12 hours. I'm doing it because I think it'll be easier, but also I am not at a place where I would like to get sick right now. And I got sick after doing my last 24-hour reading challenge because of the fact that I just it's not good for your body to stay up that long. So I'm doing it for my own physical health, but also for my hopefulness that I'll be able to actually comprehend what I'm reading better than I did in the last video. So that is what today's video is going to be. The first book that I'm going to read is Long Shot, which I've already currently started, and I have about 100 pages left. So I'm going to finish this, and then once I finish this, I'll pick the first official full book of the video. Last time I think I read 5 books in 24 hours, so my goal is to kind of either stay at 5 or go past 5, and maybe that'll be 5.5, I don't know. But like I said, 12 hours sleep and then another 12 hours. So I think it's about 2 in the afternoon, which is way later than I wanted to start, but my alarm went off and I did not wake up to it this morning. So yay me. And then I had some stuff I had to do before I started this, so I'm starting much later, but that's okay. So I'll be reading from about 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. Then I will go to sleep, and then whatever time the next day that I start is when I start tomorrow. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy, and let's get started with my 24-hour reading challenge. Okay guys, so I finished Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. I had 100 to 150 pages left of this, but overall the book was really, really good. It was also extremely sad, extremely upsetting, and at some points extremely stressful to read. Please search up trigger warnings before reading this book. There are some very dark topics that are discussed in this book, but I think that it was really well done. And I really, really enjoyed the 2 main characters and how their relationship grew and came to be. And I liked that the guy was the perfect book boyfriend, but also had his flaws that I think were very realistic. I feel like most people would have probably reacted and done the things that he did. And yeah, I just overall really, really enjoyed this book. I rated it a 4.5, I think. I just wrote it down and I can't remember. I'm pretty sure that I would say it's about a 4.5 right now. Obviously, when we get to my reading wrap-up in 2 weeks, looking at my calendar and trying to figure out, yeah, probably about 2 weeks. If it changes, you'll see. But currently I would say I rate this about a 4.5. It was a very, very good book. I do recommend reading this. But again, please search up trigger warnings because it is very, very triggering if you in any way, shape, or form relate to this. And even if you don't, like I said, it's just very upsetting, some of the things that happen to read. So yeah, but now we're moving on to our first official full book of the 24-hour reading challenge. And I decided to pick up Night Shift by Annie Crown because I've had this book for probably a couple months now, and I've been really wanting to read it because I think that it's just going to be such a cute little romance. It's shorter than Longshot was, and it's on Kindle Unlimited. So I wanted a book on Kindle Unlimited because I need to go eat. I'm starving. Like I said, because I woke up late. I had breakfast around lunch, so now I need to have lunch, but it's like between dinner, so whatever. But I wanted something that was on Kindle Unlimited so I could read on my Kindle while I eat, but then could still read the physical copy of when I come back from eating. This book is what? Let's see how many pages. Like 300 pages? Yeah, it's about 300 pages, so shouldn't take me too long, couple hours. And then I'll move on to the next book, but this is the book that I will be reading as my first official full book of the 24-hour reading challenge. Y'all, I'm literally 7 chapters in, so about 50 pages in, and I'm already obsessed with this man. Like, tell me why what happens between these two at the beginning happened so quickly. I literally was just reading, I was eating my food, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my god. Like, was not expecting that quickly. And then this man is like perfect already. And I'm like, sir, we are 50 pages in, like, how are you gonna fuck up? And also, where is the book gonna go? Because, like, it's 300 pages, 50 pages in, already in love with it. Little confused. Also, it was a Wattpad book, and I'm like, not saying that Wattpad books can't be good. They can, but usually they're a little bit more like cringy. And so far, I haven't really gotten too much cringe. I mean, a little bit, but it's more like I would have done the same thing and then been cringing at myself type thing. But yeah, absolutely loving this so far. Eating it up. Fear that this will not take me very long to read. I am so enjoying this book. Oh my god. Okay, so I finished my first full book of the 24-hour reading challenge. I finished Night Shift by Annie Crown. It was a super cute and easy read. I definitely needed this after reading Longshot. That was, like I said, very emotionally wearing and stressful, so super glad to have had this quick and easy fun read. I definitely recommend this book, even though it may look super cutesy from the outside, and don't get me wrong, there are cute moments. I'm sorry, you're telling me that these two cartoon characters on the front are the two people that are in this book at certain points? I don't think so. I would probably rate this about a 4.25 to a 4.5. It was super cute, it had me giggling and all of that. There were definitely some quotes in this book that I really liked, and even certain parts that, like, I read and I literally had to, like, reread a few times because I just was like, oh my god, I love this. But there was also a lot of miscommunication, which is one of my least favorite tropes, which ironically is actually talked about in this book. And so a lot of times when that happens, I really struggle to rate it high because of that. But it was still a really good book. So I'd say a 4.25 to a 4.5. Okay, so after like 5 to 10 minutes of literally looking through every book on my bookshelf, trying to figure out which one I wanted to read next, I decided to read Archer's Voice. I literally have had this book for like 3 years probably at this point, and like everyone I know that reads has read this book, and I have the special edition now of it, and I'm just like, I need to read this, like it is about time. And it's on my TBR, and so I was like, well, since I can't figure out which one I want to read, slash like there were just so many options of what I wanted to read, I was like, pick something off my TBR so that I can feel semi like successful. I feel like that's not the right word. Like, I feel like I'm working towards completing a goal then by reading this. Because part of me was like, well, I could read Archer's Voice, I could read Fall With Me by Becca Mack on my Kindle, but then I was like, maybe I'll read that later, like maybe I'll finish this and then read that. And then I was like, but I could also read Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher and then finish all of her books that she has currently out. And then I was like, well, I could also read Not in Love by Allie Hazelwood. I could also start Magnolia Parks, and like literally just was going on like a I want to read every book that I've never read kind of. Like, if you're a reader, I think you understand what I mean by literally all of a sudden you're like, how do I read every book in one sitting? That's kind of felt. So I was just like, we're gonna go with Archer's Voice. I need to read it. I've heard just nothing but amazing things about it, so I'm sure I'm gonna love it. Also, if I sound weird, I have some pretty bad congestion going on today from my allergies. So like my ears are clogged and like my head kind of has some congestion. So if I sound weird, it's probably because I can't really hear myself very well. But I just wanted to make that clear because I sound weird in my head, and so I feel like I might sound weird on here. But yeah, this is the next book for the challenge. Okay, so I have about, let's see, yeah, probably about 100 pages left of Archer's Voice. I actually am liking it better than I thought I would, but it's not a 5-star. I can tell you that. Like, I just know right now it's not a 5-star, but I'm definitely liking it more than I thought I would. I thought that it might be a book that a lot of my friends liked that I wasn't gonna like as much, but I am really enjoying it. I think that the plot is just very different than most books, which I think helps make it just unique, which helps make people like it. And I think that Archer, the main male character, is just like, it's hard not to like him and not like feel for him. But I just wanted to give you guys a little update since I only have 100 pages left, how I'm feeling. I am really liking it. I will say, I know that one of the guys in this book, his name starts with a T, so if you've read it, you'll know who I'm talking about, but I don't want to like spoil anything. I know he has a book, like I know she wrote a book and like it's his name. How does he get a book? Because so far I want him 6 feet under. Why does he get a book? Like, unless something happens at the end that like totally redeems him, and I don't even know how there could be something that could redeem him. He's an ass. Why does he have a book? That's all I have to say. Very confused about that. But yeah, like I said, just wanted to give you guys an update. I will probably be back, well, you guys won't be able to tell, but I probably have about another hour or so of this book, and then I'll be on to my next book. And I think last time I checked, we were at like 4 hours left of this challenge for today. And I'm actually really proud of myself. I feel like I've read a lot today. Even though technically I've only finished 1 whole book, I should have 2 whole books done today, and I read like 150 pages of long shot as well. So honestly, I don't think that's bad. What the fuck was that last 100 pages? Okay, so much happened since the last time I talked to you all. There was a death scare, which I'm sorry, I had to like go back and reread about 5 times. I was like, wait a minute. No. And also like, I don't know, it just felt very fast paced there at the end, but Also, that's kind of what happens with epilogues and stuff, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. But okay, Travis got a little bit of redemption at the end, so I guess I kind of get why he gets a book. Oh yeah, his name's Travis. Now I've spoiled it. Whatever. I've said T name, and if you were to look at Mia Sheridan's books and see a Travis, like, whatever. But still, I don't think I'll be reading his book. I still don't really like him. Just because you find out your mom was a piece of shit doesn't mean that you all of a sudden are forgiven for all the shitty things you did in your life. You can decide to be a better person, that's great. But whatever, I don't know. I rated this probably a 4.5 stars. I really, really liked, like I said, the storyline and the idea behind it, and I really liked Bree and Archer. I think that they were super cute and like, sorry, I was totally just staring off into space there. I think they're super cute, and I really, really enjoyed, like, I know this is gonna sound weird because usually I hate when people leave and then come back, but that part of the book I think was so important for their relationship to continue in the future. And yeah, I am glad that I've read it now. I would not say that it's, you know, a full 5 stars or anything, but it was still a very, very good book. I think it was well written, and I definitely think that if you have Archer's Voice on your shelf and you have been kind of like, I don't want to read it, but I do want to read it, or you just haven't read it yet, but you want to, I definitely say pick it up. I think it's a really, really good book. There are definitely some sad things that are talked about in here. I would search up trigger warnings because there are things that are mentioned. They don't go into super great detail on some of the stuff, but then they do go into some detail on other stuff. So just to be safe, search up your trigger warnings. But like I said, I would give this about a 4.5 stars. I did not check what the timer is at before I started this, and the timer is on my phone, which is what I film on. So I don't know how much time we have left, probably 2 to 3 hours, somewhere in that range. I'm going to start my next book, and it's going to be on my Kindle, and I think I'm going to start Fall With Me by Becca Mack. Me, when I'm on my Kindle, just looking for Fall With Me, and I see that Fourth Wing is now on Kindle Unlimited. Do I do a reread? No, I shouldn't do a reread, but I want to. I want to very much. Okay, where is it? You're gonna make me search it? It should be here, like, hello. Okay, not me just casually going through the playlist, as I do, because I love playlists, and I'm scrolling, and I'm like, oh, love that song, ooh, that's a sad song, but, you know, like, you know, books, a lot of romance books that have playlists are gonna have sad songs, because there's gonna be sad moments, like, it happens, and not me literally seeing The View Between Villages by Noah Khan in here. Absolutely not. That song, let me tell you, quick story time, and Kira, my sibling, if you're watching, this is our story time. I was driving back with my sibling from visiting them back home. They decide that they're going to play Stick Season, I think that's the album name, Noah Khan's album, for me, because I'm a huge Hosier fan, but I really only listened to like 2 or 3 of Noah Khan's songs. I just didn't like hop on that train immediately when everyone else did. And I was like, you know what, it's time, go ahead, like we have a long drive, might as well. Yeah, well, mind you, it was like nighttime at this point, and like we are sleep deprived like to the max. Like we should not be driving, but here we are. Thankfully, I was the passenger at the time. This song comes on, and I kid you not, I have a mild panic attack in the car. Like, that song broke me. Like, did we read my diary or something when we wrote that song, Noah? I fear we might have. So, I'm a little scared now because I'm a little scared. I won't lie. I fear that, I hope that that's a bit of a stretch. But it's possible now. I fear that there might be tears in this video later. Hey guys, so it is day 2 of my 24-hour reading challenge. I just woke up and then took a shower because, you know, sometimes you wake up and you're just like, I need a shower. That's just kind of how I felt. So don't mind my hair looking like a crazy mess because it's air drying because I didn't feel like doing anything with it. It has no product in it and it's air drying, so it will probably look crazy for the rest of the video. I'm sorry. but I actually fell asleep last night with about an hour and 30 minutes left. So I'm going to be adding that on to today. Hopefully I don't fall asleep again today. If I do, I will cry. But I got, let's see. Also, my Kindle was like not working yesterday for a period of time, and I got really scared that it was going to break. And I was like, you cannot break during this video. Also, you just can't break in general, because I need this for school. Because I like won't have all my books with me. But anyways, it's fine now. I am 16% of the way through Fall With Me. So far it's been pretty entertaining, not anything that's like, oh my god, I love this is great, but books with this kind of trope where it's kind of like the two main characters like meet right off the bat, and then like it's kind of in like a one night standish way, and then they meet in person and they're like real lives. Usually those things tend to be a little more fun and exciting at the beginning and less like emotional and personable. That usually gets on later in the video. I mean, in the video. That usually gets on later in the book. But I'm on page 86, which like I said is 16% of the way through. But I am liking it so far. There's nothing that's like, you know, bad about it or anything. I will say though, I curled up in bed with it last night. That was my mistake. So yeah, I fell asleep. I woke up like, I don't even know how many quote unquote hours later. But well, it probably wasn't hours because I only had an hour and 30 minutes left. I think the last time I checked it was like 2 hours. So probably was only like 30 minutes. But I'm going to tack that on. So I have to read for 13 and a half hours today, which is fine. But like I said, I got through 2 books yesterday, Night Shift by Annie Crowd and Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. And then I finished Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan at the beginning of the video, since that was the book that I was reading before starting the video. And now I'm reading Fall With Me by Becca Mack on my Kindle. I actually got an alert, I think either this morning or last night, now I can't remember, but basically from Waterstone saying my book had shipped, and I'm like, oh, yay! So maybe by the time this video comes up, I'll have the book in my physical possession, but that is how we're starting today. I'm not gonna lie, 13 and a half hours is really like dreadful to think about today. Not even the reading part that's dreadful, literally just thinking about the fact that it's gonna be like 1 to 2 in the morning again. But that's okay. So I just finished Fall With Me on my Kindle. It's the 4th book in the Playing for Keeps series by Becca Mack, and I won't lie, I read Considered Me and then Play With Me and then Unravel Me, and each time I read it, like I rated the next book higher and higher, but I rated Unravel Me 5, so I was really curious how Fall With Me was gonna go. Was it gonna be the 5 and I was gonna have to move all those down? Was it just going to be another 5? Like, I was just curious. And let me tell you, I like both of the characters and I like them together, and don't get me started on the cat. I love Mittens. Oh my god, star of the entire book, let's be real. But I will say, I think I'm gonna rate it a 4.25. I loved Unravel Me. That is still definitely my favorite of the whole series, 5 stars. And then Play With Me, which is 4.75. They're very close. I love both of those very much. Consider Me was a fun time. I did like it. I do like their story. I will say though, I think Fall With Me is my least favorite. Again, it's nothing with the characters really. I just think I was a little maybe bored with the plot at certain points. But I still really enjoyed the characters, and like the characters from the other books coming in and like being a part of all of that. Like I really enjoyed that feeling of the found family and all that. So that's why I'm not rating it like a 4 to a 3.5. Like I'm not going that range, because there were still plenty of points where I was totally enjoying the book. I was enjoying the characters and all of their, you know, relationships, whether it's friendships or romantic relationships. And I don't know, I was a little surprised that it's actually my least favorite, because I was expecting to really like it, and I did really like it. I just meant like I was expecting it to be like one of my top favorites, and it wasn't. So that was an interesting feeling. Okay, so I went through a couple different books and I finally decided on Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark for a couple reasons. One, I feel like it's slightly different than the romances I've been reading. It'll be a bit darker, it's more mafia-like. So I feel like there'll be a different enough like plot and like vibe to the book than the other books I've been reading. Two, I really want to know if I like this series so that I can figure out if I want to buy the rest of it or not. Slash like ask for it for like my birthday and Christmas when that time comes around. And three, I also just want to know if I like Sophie Lark's writing. Because I know a lot of people really like this series and the Sinners Duet series. And so I'm curious to see if I like it as well. And I was looking at a thriller, but I'm just not really in the thriller mood right now, so I didn't pick that up. But this is what I picked up, and hopefully I'm really hoping that I'll like it. Obviously, when you're doing a 24-hour reading challenge and you're just reading back to back to back, sometimes it can be a little daunting. Like, I don't want to pick a book that's gonna like put me in a reading slump, or pick a book that I'm gonna be bored with or whatever, because then it's gonna feel like a waste of time. So I do try to pick pretty like particularly, but I think that I'll really enjoy this one. So I don't think I actually gave any updates for Brutal Prince, but I have finished it. I ate this book up. Why was it like so entertaining? I am feeling very conflicted like on my ratings. Like I keep thinking back to how I've rated all the books in this video, and I just like, I don't know, like I feel like none of them, I feel like don't take my ratings right now really to heart. I think take the ratings when I finish the video and I have my like wrap up at the end of the video, and then the reading wrap up for the month, take those more to heart, because I'm sitting here and I'm kind of like, I kind of loved this. Like 4.25 I feel like is probably what I would rate it. But then I'm thinking about the fact that I rated Fall With Me 4.25, and I was like, but I feel like I liked this better, so maybe that's more like a 4. I don't know. I'm just very conflicted right now. I don't know how to feel about all of the books I've read, but currently I'm feeling about a 4.25 stars with this book. I know that there is 5 more books in the series. I definitely will be reading them. I do like Sophie Lark's writing. I think it's very entertaining and very easy to read. Like I'm not sitting there going like, what am I reading? Which is always a plus. I will say there were certain parts where I was kind of like, don't love that. But then like the characters kind of like made up, like I don't know how to describe it without giving spoilers. There would be a few things that would happen between the two characters, and I would be kind of like, as it was starting to happen, like I don't love that. But then both the characters were like fine about it in the end. So I was like, okay, I guess if they're fine about it, I can be fine about it, right? Whatever. I also love the whole design of the front of the cover. That's really cute and funny based off the whole plot and everything. I am trying again to figure out what to read next. Okay, so after picking up a book and sitting down and then going, wait, no, putting it back, picking up another book, sitting down, going, wait, no, put it back, I finally made a decision, and I'm going to read I Fell in Love with Hope. I don't know exactly how to pronounce the author's pen name. I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly because this is a pen name. Her real name is Lou Andrea Callywart, but again, I'm not actually sure if I'm pronouncing that correct. Correct? Oh my god. Paige, either pick correct or pick right. Don't be putting into one word. I don't know if that's correct. But I have heard really good things about this book. I know it used to have an old cover, and even back when it had that cover, I heard great things about it. I just didn't actually pick it up until it had this cover. I've also heard it's very sad, and reading the back, I really am not expecting it to be happy. It literally, the first part, it says a group of terminally ill patients. It's giving 5 Feet Apart, which I watched that movie and about a million pieces of tears. Just, I mean, I was a total disaster. But I feel like this could be a fun end of the video, just me sobbing my eyes out. So we'll see. I feel like I would prefer to read this in the comfort of my own home and cry than if I was to read this in my apartment and sob, where my roommate could hear me and be like, Paige, are you okay in there? And I'd be like, yeah, it's just my book. And then she, even though she loves me, she'd be slightly judging me like, Paige, what the fuck? But yeah, I decided to go with this one. I know, big switch from like a mafia romance to terminally ill patients, but here we are. This will likely be the last book in this video unless I finish it and I only have like an hour or so left. Then I'll probably pick up the last book in the Vicious Lost Boys series because it's so small. But this will likely be the last book of the video because I don't think that I will have time to finish another one. Oh my god. I told you guys this was gonna happen. I like relate to so many different aspects of these characters, and I think that makes it even harder to read because obviously there's just like normal like sad things that happen, but when you relate to them and like I said, in the different aspects that you would, you connect to them more, and that makes all these moments harder. I'm really hoping the end is at least happy, but I know that at least I knew someone had to die, and someone did. I don't know if there's gonna be more. I don't know if I can handle more. I'm on page 275. I got like 150 pages or something left. Yeah, this book hurts. Yeah, it's really all I gotta say right now. Yeah, I just gave a whole long thing and it didn't even start recording. Anyways, all I was saying was that I think another character is about to die, and I'm just not okay. That's really all the update is. I'm not okay. The book is breaking me. If you want to read the book and end up like me, please search up trigger warnings because there are definitely some triggering topics in here, but also like I want to recommend it, but I'm also sitting here like it's actually breaking me, and I'm so glad I have therapy tomorrow. Ooh. I literally just can't stop crying. Okay, 5 stars. Hey guys, so I just woke up and had breakfast, and now I decided that I will film the official wrap up of this video, since clearly, as you can tell, I was a little distressed last night. I don't know how much of that is gonna make it into the video, but a little bit will for sure. Also, if you hear noises in the background, my mom is feeding my cats. Well, our cats, they're not mine, they're my family's. So if you hear noise, that's what it is, don't mind that. So the first book that I finished in the challenge was Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. So obviously I did not read the entire thing for this video. I had already read most of it and I had about 150 pages left. But it was still 150 pages that I read, plus everything else. So I'm gonna count this as like half a book. Because even though this book, it's not the halfway mark, for like a normal like 300 page book, that would be. So I'm gonna count this as a half book. I think that my final rating, when I really think about it, is going to be a 4.5 because I think that it was a really, really, really good book. I think that even though as upsetting as the plotline was, I think Kennedy Ryan did a really, really good job with it, and I really am excited to read the next books in the series because like you meet those characters in this book and I want their book already. I know Block Shot is the next one, but I really, really, okay, I had to make sure that I had the title right. I really, really can't wait for Hook Shot, just because of the characters that are going to be in it. But I would say, like I said, 4.5 stars for Long Shot. And obviously sometimes when it's a series and I read the series, this might go down depending on those books. But currently, I'm going to say 4.5 for Long Shot. And then after I read Long Shot, I decided to pick up something that was a little bit cuter and more fun. So I picked up Night Shift by Annie Crown. Let me tell you, I ate this book up. I mean, it was so quick and easy to read, and it was super cute. And I mean, like, it kind of, like, picked up immediately. Like, there was not really much drag of, like, getting to know characters. I mean, it was, like, boom, you meet the characters and story starts, which I know for some people they may not like that, but for me, after reading such a heavy like getting to know all these characters and everything, it was kind of refreshing to just like have a story. So even though I would say it was probably a 4.5 stars as well for entertainment purposes, it's not a 4.5 like this was a 4.5. I feel like that's not gonna make sense. But this 4.5 was like, I don't know how to explain this without you guys like thinking I'm crazy. This was an amazing book, written so well. This was also a book that was amazing and well written, but was more just a fun time, and that's why I rated it a 4.5. Not that it was like, oh my god, the best book of this century that I've ever read, but I did really, really like it, if that makes sense. So they are both 4.5s. However, I want you all to look at me. If you were going to pick one of these to read, if you want fun, read this. If you want more of a really getting to know characters, kind of growing a family type vibe, read this one. If you want happiness, read this one. If you want sadness, read this one. It will get happy eventually, but not for a while, but that's okay. So yeah, Night Shift, also 4.5 stars. Then after Night Shift, I finally picked up Archer's Voice and actually read it. So this one has been, I think it's probably been about 3 years that this has been on my shelf, and I finally read it, so yay for me. But now that I really sit here and I think about the book, I think I'm only gonna give it like 4 stars. I don't know. I liked the characters. I liked Archer and I liked Bree, and I thought that they were cute together. And I think that the plot line was different than most books, like romance-wise, that I read. But I was definitely bored at certain parts, and I felt like it could have been short. I didn't feel like it needed to be this long. I don't know. I still had a great time with it. It was still a cute romance. I don't regret reading it. Want to make that very clear. Do not regret reading it. Was a fun time. I just probably would not read again. However, I still really did enjoy it. And I do think that if you have it, you should read it and give it a try. Or if you have not read it, but you've been wanting to, I still think you should give it a try, because it is a small town and it felt very small towny, which is not my favorite thing in the world. So that might also be partially why I was kind of like, eh. But 4 stars is still good. Like I said, 4 stars is not a bad rating. I'm just saying, compared to the rest of the books in this stack, this one was probably my least favorite, which is surprising. I would not have thought that, to be honest. But yes, I'm rating Archer's Voice 4 stars. Then after reading Archer's Voice, I read Fall With Me by Becca Mack. So I do not have the physical copy yet, so it'll be somewhere here on the screen. I really enjoyed this book. It is the 4th book in the Playing for Keeps series, which I'm looking over here because that's where the series is. And as I read it, like, Consider Me is the first one. I really liked it and I thought, wow, this is great. And then I read Play With Me and I was like, wait a minute, oh my god, so much better. And then I read Unravel Me and I was like, oh my god, also so amazing. So I was hoping that Fall With Me would feel the same way. And I'm gonna say that and y'all are probably gonna think that I hated it. I did not hate it. I did not hate it. I just, compared to the rest of the books in the series, it wasn't my favorite. I would say it was probably my least favorite. It would probably be ranked with Consider Me, because I think I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I mean, not a 4.5, a 4.25 stars. Which actually, now that I think about it, I think I maybe gave Consider Me 4.5, so maybe it's lower than Consider Me. I can't remember, but I'm gonna give it a 4.25 stars. I think that I really liked the 2 characters. I liked Jax and I liked Lennon. However, I didn't love the plot that they were given. How do I word this? The characters, great. The characters together, great. The characters together with the cat, fabulous. How they met, a fun time, like, sure. However, I feel like their entire plot, it just, like, I don't know. I wasn't bored, but I was irritated at certain points because I'm like, oh my god, like, I feel like I'm just rereading the same kind of chapter over and over again. I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of how it felt. But again, I still really enjoyed the characters, and I love the series, and I love the found family within the whole series. And you got all the characters from the other books in this book. So I think I hyped it up too much for myself, and so I'm let down by it, and that's why I'm so like, oh, like, that irritated me, or that made me sad or mad or whatever. Like, I think if you're just someone who likes the series and picks it up, like, I don't think you're not gonna like it. I just love the series and have very high expectations, and I think for me it was slightly less than what I expected. And then after that, I was like, okay, what the fuck am I gonna read? Like, I have now read technically 3 sports romances, actually. And I was like, so maybe not a sports romance. And then I was like, I read kind of a small towny romance that was kind of sad. So like, so maybe not something sad. And I was like, okay, maybe a dark romance. And then I saw Sophie Lark sitting on my shelf. And so I decided to pick up Brutal Prince because I have had this for a little while, but I've been wanting to read the series. Like, I've been wanting to read it since it had its old covers. I just never actually picked it up. But it is a mafia romance series. So this one is about Callum and Aida. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm gonna go with Aida. And I absolutely loved both of them. I think that separately they were both very interesting characters to read about, and then together I think that they really vibed well together. I will say there were certain scenes where I was a little like, no, but then the characters were both fine with it at the end, so then I was like, okay. But I am definitely really excited to read the rest of the series, and I did have a very great time with it. I think it's, what, like 300 pages? Yeah, it's about 300 pages, a little less, but I mean, I went through this so quickly. It was such an easy read, and truly, honestly, a very entertaining read. So I rated this also a 4.25 stars. I think that because I didn't have as many expectations about this one as I did with Fall With Me, that this one didn't feel like a letdown because I didn't have any expectations going into it, which is kind of my fault. I need to like stop having expectations, but it's really hard when you've read an author and their books and you really liked it and you're like, okay, this has got to just be like the best one. And you know what? It's okay. Not every book is going to be the best one, so. But then after I finished Brutal Prince, I was like, all right, what now? And I decided, you know what, it's time. I've had this book for a while. I've put it on a few TBRs. I've been wanting to read it. I knew it was going to make me cry, which is part of the reason I wasn't reading it. I don't even want to look at it. I don't even want to look at it. I Fell in Love with Hope. Oh my goodness. I don't even have words. You guys saw. I literally didn't have words. I just had tears. That's all I had. No words, tears. Like I think I said or was trying to say yesterday night, or technically this morning, it wasn't that this book was like sad. I mean, okay, no, that's not. The book is sad. Like, people die in it. Like, it is just sad. But the plot line, I'm not even gonna say the plot line, the story that the author created within this book that you find out really towards the end, like, it really just, like, I don't know. It was very moving to me. I really connected with the characters, like, all of them in different ways. And I think that's why it affected me so much. So for some people, you may read this and you may react the same way I did. And to some people, they may read it and they might not cry. They might be like, yeah, it was a sad book. Like, there was some really, like, or even touching moments, like, but they may not cry. So I think I don't want everyone to be like, oh my god, like, this book will make you cry. However, this book will make you cry. I'm rating it a 5 stars. Now, I want to make this very clear. This book is not a 5 stars because, oh my god, it's my favorite book and I want to reread it over and over again. No, I will probably never pick this book back up to reread. For many, many reasons. But it was a very, very great experience, and I feel I'm grateful that I read it. I do think that this author has a way with words and did an amazing job writing this book. And I loved the characters, I loved the story, I think it was great. And the emotions and experience that I felt while reading it is why it's a 5 star. Not every 5-star book is, oh my god, it's my favorite book, I loved it, I'm rereading it 25 times. There is a feeling that I get when I read a book, and it's different. It's not always the same feeling, but there is a feeling that tells me this is a 5-star book, and I got that with this one. So that is why I'm rating this a 5 stars. And I can't believe I ended with a 5-star book. That's crazy, but here we are. So those were the 5.5 books that I read for my 24-hour reading challenge, which technically was more like a 23-hour reading challenge because I still had about an hour left when I finished I Fell in Love with Hope, but I was just so emotionally drained that I was like, I am going to bed, not finishing the last hour. So technically it was a 23-hour reading challenge, but I'm not putting that as the title because that just sounds stupid. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed what I read. I'm really happy that I did this. I'm now like 5 or 6 books ahead of my reading goal for this year on Goodreads, which is always really nice because usually the last few times I've been looking, I've either been behind or on track, and that's boring to be on track. We want to be ahead. So yeah, those were the books that I read for this video. Okay, so like I said, that was today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know what my next video will be. It might be a TBR, it might not be. It's gonna kind of depend on how my schedule ends up working out because I am getting ready to leave soon to go back to school. Yay. So exciting. But like I said, sorry, I got a notification and it confused me because I don't know why. Okay, does not matter to you guys. I will figure that out later. Anyways, I don't know what the next video will be, but it'll come out and then you'll see what it is. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you are all having an amazing day, and I hope that you are all having a great time with whatever you're reading. I hope that whatever it is either making you happy, making you giggle, making you blush, whatever it is. Hopefully it's not making you cry, but if it's making you cry, I hope it makes you cry because you just are so connected to the book, not because you're being traumatized. Because I will say, there were definitely some scenes I read in I Fell in Love with Hope that were a little triggering and almost re-traumatizing, but that's okay. because I was aware that those scenes were going to happen. So I was prepared. Because again, search up trigger warnings, please. Please, I am begging you. They're in the book too. So like, even if you don't want to search them up, just please read the foreword at the front. Read that whole thing. It will tell you. Please. And I will just say, death. If you do not want to read about death, do not read that book. That's all I'll say. Okay. I need to go get ready because I am hanging out with friends today. So I will see you guys. Let's see. Maybe in a week from when you watch this video. I'm not sure. We'll see when I get the video filmed. I need to shut up now. I'm just rambling now because I don't know how to wrap this video up. So yeah. Bye guys.